First up, boundaries. Anxious types typically do not have enough boundaries, and avoidant types have too many to the point where they have what we'd call walls. One reason why anxious types struggle with this is because they think that if they put boundaries in place, it's going to push the other person away. I have to give of myself with no limits so that you want to stay around. You're incentivized to be around me. You can see how valuable I am to you. So I keep giving of myself without the awareness of where my limits are, or even if this relationship calls for such generosity. An anxious type typically doesn't even think enough of themselves to put limits on others' access. They actually value other people more. You see someone else's time and space as more valuable, and you're in want of that. But for yourself, you don't value it the same. You give it away. People don't have to do so much to get it the way that you would do so much to get someone else's, especially that you have a romantic interest in. So I call it like having a low barrier to entry. It don't take too much to get to you. The anxious type ends up being taken advantage of and realize at some point that you're not getting too much in return. You try to make the case and it doesn't do what you think it should do. And what I mean by that is I should be able to say, hey, over these last 6 months, it really seems like I've been putting in a lot of effort. Notice that I've been making a lot of the plans. When things get canceled or things go left, it's me kind of picking up the pieces. I feel like if I didn't move this relationship, the relationship would stop moving altogether. And I really don't want that. I'm wondering if it makes sense to you for us to share more of the load of this relationship. Obviously, I'm giving certain kind of language, but you all get the gist. What that should do, okay, is someone says, I am so sorry that you have taken on more than your share of the work of this relationship. Now that I think about it, I realize I've been tied up with work. I've been giving my energy to other people, and I have neglected this relationship. How can I make this more of an equal partnership, more of an equal relationship? What can I do to help to reciprocate? That's what it should be able to do, right? But in an anxious avoidant match, you can make the case and hit all the points. You're like, I did this, I can do that, I've done that, I've spent all of this energy, all of this time, all of this money, and I really, and it doesn't move the other person to reciprocate because they're still avoidant, okay? And until someone, what did we say at the beginning of this? Until someone has the intent and the aligned action to change, it don't change. It does not change. The anxious type typically also feels drained at trying to scale those mountains, scale those walls to try to get to the avoidant type. And on the other side of the coin, the avoidant type usually feels like they're being smothered, like you are consistently crossing their boundaries. They didn't invite you into that space and they keep hearing you clamoring at the door. They can feel violated. They can feel smothered. And you're like, I'm just trying to talk. And they're like, I feels like you're trying to take over. So boundaries are a consistent source of conflict in this relationship.